Hi, I'm Jillian and welcome to the show. I offer spiritual growth for the rebel soul, guiding you through the labyrinth of your own ascension path. This show is for the rebel souls that challenge the status quo, those that crave authenticity in every single aspect of their lives, that desire to embrace their uniqueness, follow their passions, connect to their soul and live according to who they truly are, even if that means having the courage to go against the grain or the norms of society. If that's you, my spiritual soul seeker, rebel warrior, then this is the place for you. On this podcast, we speak about everything from spirituality, sexuality, conscious relationships, business, and literally everything in between. So if that's your jam, then stay tuned. And go on, be a rebel and subscribe. You know you want to. Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to dive into one of my favorite topics in the spiritual world, which is the higher self. Now, you've probably heard people say, just connect to your higher self, or just trust your higher self. But what the hell does that actually mean? You know, who or what is your higher self? How does it operate? And why does understanding it completely change the way that you are going to see your life, your purpose, and like your bigger soul's journey? So this is exactly what we're going to explore in today's episode. And I promise you, by the end, you're never going to look at yourself or your challenges in the same way again. So let's just start at the beginning, shall we? So the higher self is not some separate being to you. It's not some guide that's floating out there in the ethers or some like mystical stranger that you have to beg for advice. Your higher self is you. It's the eternal, the expanded, the infinite part of your own consciousness that actually never left source. So I like to say it like, imagine you are an actor playing a role on a stage, right? Just bring out your inner thespian. So this role in this lifetime that you're living right now, you know, with your personality, your experiences, you know, all of your challenges, your relationships, your gifts. But behind the stage curtain, you know, watching the whole play unfold is the real you, the higher self. You know, and that's the one that knows the script, that understands the bigger picture, that remembers like every single play you've ever been in. That is your higher self. It's like the eternal witness. It's like the director of the play, you know, and like really like the architect of all of your human experiences, you know. And I like to also like say it's kind of like, because we live in a modern technology driven world, right? It's like your higher self is like your own iCloud. It's like the cloud, right? Where your human self, it kind of like logs into your iCloud through your device, right? Through this body, this personality. But the actual data, you know, the soul memory, that is stored in the higher self and, you know, the iCloud. And that's like completely changed across all of your lifetimes. Like that data is stored in the iCloud and it's there. It can't be changed. It's like all of your lifetimes. It's like all of the pictures that you've had throughout your life or lifetimes are all being stored up there. All the data is up there with your higher self. So, you know, like the next time that you get deja vu, or maybe you just know something without knowing how you know it, that's your higher self. That is your higher self that is streaming information down to you from the iCloud. It is like the infinite keeper of wisdom. So just think about it like that. I like to think about it like that because, you know, we all know what an iCloud is. So that is your higher self. You know, and here's like the really fascinating part about it, right? Your higher self is there's always whispering to you. It's always guiding you. It's always like nudging you. Those signs and synchronicities, that's your higher self, right? But it doesn't control you. You have complete free will. And this is where people get confused, right? They're like, oh, my life is all guided out for me. No, it's not. You've got free will. You're a human, right? It's like you've got GPS in your car, right? I mean, I use my maps all the time, even when I know where I'm going. It's basically like, okay, your higher self has set that destination, right? It's set the maps. It's set you where you're supposed to go. It's put the address in. the soul lessons, your growth, the love that you're supposed to experience, expansion you're supposed to experience and came here for. But you, the human in this life, you're the one that's in the driver's seat. You're the one behind the wheel, right? So you get to choose the route. Sometimes you might take the quick way, the highway, right? That's got no traffic on it. Sometimes you might take a messy detour through the back roads. Sometimes you might ignore the GPS entirely and get lost and find yourself in a ditch, right? I think that's such a good analogy to describe the choices that we might make on the way to our destination. But here's the beauty of it all, right? No matter what, your higher self will always reroute you. It doesn't judge you for not learning your lesson and going back to your ex a million times. It just says, okay, cool, let's recalculate, let's find another way with where you're meant to go, and let's give you another chance to learn the lesson or overcome the thing so that you do follow the GPS the next time, and the GPS really is your intuition. But when we ignore that, when we ignore the synchronicities, the gut feelings, the dreams, the nudges, those moments where your heart just knows what's right, you kind of throw the GPS out the window. And the GPS is there for a reason. So we don't get lost. So the times that you feel lost is because you're not listening to the GPS. You're not following the route that your higher self already planned out for you. Now, people have asked me before, how is my higher self connected to the spirit world? Is it a guide? Is it God? What is it? I always tell them it's the bridge. It's the bridge. It's the bridge between all of it. It's the part of you that never fully incarnates into an earthly body. It's kind of like the piece of your soul. It's actually called this oversoul, right? It's a piece of your soul that's always plugged into the higher realms, still plugged into source, still connected to all your soul family, your guides, your ancestors. That's when you quiet your mind, right, and you actually tune in inwards, you get the clarity you need, because it's not ever coming from outside of you. It's coming from that infinite part of you. I always to describe it as the oversoul, the higher self, and it's you have little dangles into different incarnations and different realities and different dimensions, but they all go back up to, again, the iCloud, right? They all go back up to that oversoul that is connected to the infinite part of everything. So whilst, and again, I work with the higher self, I work with guides, I work with source consciousness. So while all of those can, your guides can support you, absolutely. Source energy, divine love energy holds you, absolutely. And it's really important to work with all of these. It's actually your higher self that kind of is acting as that, it's the personal Wi-Fi. It's your own Wi-Fi connection to source, to the divine, to your guides. It's the link up to all the infinite information that you can access and gather. It's is your Wi-Fi on high speed, or is it is it lagging? But your higher self is that connection. So it's the Wi-Fi router. And then, it kind of brings us to the question of why, right? I know these are big questions, I know, and it's not, everything isn't going to get answered in this one episode, about the nature of us and our soul and and our spiritual journey and all of these things. But understanding what the point of the higher self is a really cool question to ask yourself. And it's your higher self, I believe anyway, exists to make sure that you don't get lost in the illusion of one lifetime, right? Because you are a multidimensional soul. You have lived lifetimes and lifetimes in different realities, in different dimensions, on different planets, not just on Earth. And I have seen this. I have seen this in my own work. I have seen this with my clients. We are not just this one infinite life, right? And when we really take the perspective and our awareness to how infinite and how big our actual soul journey is, not of just this lifetime, it really kind of puts things into perspective for us, right? Imagine you're playing a video game, right? Down here on Earth, right, in the game, you're caught up in the battles, the quests, the wins, the losses, the races, whatever it is that you're playing. But it's your higher self that is actually the player that's holding the controller, right? It knows the bigger picture. It knows what levels you've already played. It knows what skills you've mastered, or, you know, what weapons you've got, what patterns you're here to break. Like, it knows all of that. You know, and your higher self, like I said, it's not just about guiding you through this one tiny lifetime. And I know that's like hard to think, because you're like, well, I'm in this lifetime. I'm like, well, actually, you're in many lifetimes at the same time, because time is not linear. Time is just a human construct. But that's a whole other story. But, you know, it's really about like weaving together, like, let's say the golden thread of all of your lifetimes, you know, all the wisdom, all the lessons, all the soul contracts, you know, your gifts, your talents that you've built through lifetimes, that your human mind, like, is gonna forget, you know. And obviously this is where we when we start to awaken on our journey, we start to remember all of this. You know, our human mind forgets it when we incarnate into this lifetime, because can you imagine remembering all of our lifetimes when we incarnate into this one? Like, that would be so hella confusing. But as we start to awaken, you know, in this lifetime, we start to meal piece things together. We start to see into the past, the future, the different realities, and to understand the bigger nature. So whilst as a human, we might forget all of these things, you know, but our higher self, our soul, never does. And that's the bigger picture, right? That's really the bigger picture, and the bigger purpose of all this is your higher self is here to keep you aligned with your true journey of your soul, you know, not just the day-to-day drama. Like, this is what we're here to do. We're here to actually look at the bigger picture of our life. Our life isn't just the day-to-day, go to work, have a relationship, have babies, we're here for something so much more. And when people realize that, oh my God, your life does change. And, you know, your higher self really has such a big influence and a role in how all of your lifetimes unfold, right? Because again, before you incarnate, your higher self helps you design your own blueprint, okay? Like, there's a phase that we go to before we incarnate, called the life between lives stage, that, you know, I actually take people through in regression. We can go to that life between life stage, you know, and it's where we plan things out, right? We pick our soul family, we pick our body, like, we plan the lessons, right? And our higher self helps us do that. You know, what lessons we're going to face, who we're going to meet, what wounds we're going to heal, what gifts we're going to awaken. And it does that in collaboration with your soul family. So if you don't know what soul families are basically groups of souls who incarnate together over and over, swapping roles to help each other grow, right? Like, so for example, one lifetime, your soul sister might be your mother, right? Your best friend in this lifetime may have been your mum in another lifetime. And then in the next, she's your best friend. In another, she might be your enemy. But only because that role was the exact trigger that your soul needed to grow. And your higher self is the one that's kind of orchestrating all of that dance. It's like the conductor of a symphony, right? It's like making sure that every instrument plays its part, every note lands, even from down here. You know, it probably sounds like chaos from down here, but on a bigger scale, it's creating like a symphony. And again, like when I tune into like the soul family, like our soul groups, those that we have chosen to incarnate into different lifetimes with, you know, there might be some souls that we incarnate over and over and over again in different roles. There might be like extras, right, that are not as close to us in our soul group, where we've maybe had a few different lifetimes with. So, you know, and the people that are in our soul groups are the people that we have that make a difference in our life. So again, you know, our family, our friends, could even be co-workers, could be, again, like our biggest foes, the people that have hurt us the most. Because this is the thing, right? On a soul level, we're not always here to help each other grow through love, right? We also sometimes choose to help each other grow through pain. And I know that sounds crazy, because you're like, well, you're supposed to be my soul family. The soul doesn't look at it like that, right? Like, it's our human mind that really thinks about like love and pain as such a bad thing, or why would I choose to do a horrible thing, or why would someone that's supposed to care about me choose to do this horrible thing to me? Well, because it's for a bigger reason, it's for a bigger plan, it's for bigger growth. And when we can look at it like that, we can just really understand the bigger picture, right? And again, it's like, say you have a theater troupe, right, that go and do all these different plays together. They travel the world, and, you know, they're constantly getting employed to do like all these different plays. But these actors are not going to play the same roles, right? They're going to play different roles and different dynamics towards each other. That's how our soul family, that's how our soul groups work, right? We come into different lifetimes and we get hired. Okay, you'll be good for this. You're hired. You're hired to play my mom. You're hired to play my dad. You're hired to play my ex that broke my heart. Whatever it is. And because there's a bigger purpose to it. You know, it's so complex, right? Because it's like, they have things to learn, they have growth to happen as well, and so do you. So it's like like this complex web of how are we going to help each other expand and grow through challenges, through pain, through love, through support, etc. As a big collective web. This is why it's complex, right? We can't fully understand all of it, but you know, I'm just trying to help you understand what I've learned through my many years doing this work, so you can help understand how that operates in your life. So I actually want to go into some questions, right? So I get some questions about the higher self, right? These are some of the things that my clients have asked me, my students have asked me. So is your higher self the same as intuition? Yes and no, okay? Like, your intuition is the voice of your higher self coming through, and the higher self is the source. Does that make sense? Like, your intuition is kind of like the radio signal, right? So it is your higher self, but the intuition is like the signal that picks up the language or the frequency or what your higher self is here to tell you. So yes and no is the answer to that in a less simplistic answer. Another question. Does your higher self ever get frustrated with you? No, of course not. Never. That crap is your human mind. That's your human mind just projecting, right? Your higher self is unconditional love. It sees you in like a way a parent sees a toddler learning to walk, you know? And if you're not failing, you're learning. That's kind of like, that's how it feels about you. It is you. It is part of you. It's the most conscious, awakened, unconditionally loving version of you. So no, it doesn't have any of that judgment or hate or you've done something wrong. That's just like such a human construct. It's so far beyond that. So no. Can I ever be disconnected from my higher self? Okay. Now, people can feel like that, right? People can feel like, oh, my intuition has gone, like I don't feel connected, I feel lost, all of that stuff. But you're never really disconnected from your higher self. Like, you're never disconnected because it is you. You know, you can ignore it, you can doubt it, you can, you know, drown out the guidance out with noise or distraction or numbing or whatever it is. But the connection is always there. It's just like, it's like the sunlight behind the clouds, right? So whatever clouds you put in front of it, whether it's your mind, whether it's stress, whether it's fear, whether it's ego, whether it's trauma, those are the clouds. But the sun's always behind it. And, you know, when we shift those clouds, when we heal those clouds, when we get rid of whatever that is that's distracting you from hearing yourself clearly, the sun will always shine through. How do I know if I'm listening to my higher self or my ego? This is a good one. Okay. So your higher self is going to feel calm. It's going to feel clear. It's going to feel very neutral. It's going to feel like more expansive, more loving, more wise. You know, it's going to come through in like clear instructions. Whereas your ego or your fear or your trauma, if that's being reactivated, that's going to feel like, urgent. It's going to feel fearful, critical. It's going to feel loud. You know, that voice can be like really heavy or frantic. It can be like repetitive loops of where you're like, what if, or going back to painful scenarios and replaying them over and over again. If that's how it comes through, that's your ego. If it feels light or expansive, aligned, then it's your higher self. So again, this is why really understanding your patterns, really understanding how your intuition speaks to you is going to help you understand, have I just been triggered? Is this an old wound that's coming up for a reason? Or is this something that is my intuition and I need to like take heed on it? You know? And the reason that I wanted to do this episode, because humanity right now in this particular moment in time is at like a huge turning point, right? Like for so long, we've been conditioned to look out of our side for, look outside of ourselves for answers, you know, to the gurus, to the systems, to authority, to the politicians. I mean, nobody listens to them, but you know what I mean? To the financial, institutions. Like we have been outsourcing our power for so long. You know, but we're going through this mass awakening, right? This evolution of consciousness. And it's really about realizing that all the answers are within us. You know, and there's never a bigger moment than now with what is happening in the world. Like, oh my God, when we just have to look at the face of politics, the face of war, the lies, the manipulation, the fear mongering. Then we've got technology. Listen, I'm a fan of technology, right? But we've got AI, we've got like deep fake stuff. We've got the technology that has the capability to create whole videos that look and sound exactly like you, that can be played across the world, played across the internet, and people are believing this shit. So this is why the future of humanity and the skills that we are going to need to thrive as an individual and as a collective consciousness, intuition is one of the highest ones. When we're talking about talents and skills, and listen, I had my whole previous career I was a career consultant. I had my own 7-figure business for 7.5 years. I'd been in that industry for 11 years, working with the most innovative brands, the most forward-thinking people when it came to technology, media, digital, data. And these are the skills that we really need, right? This is my expertise, skills and talents, upskilling ourselves, innovation. This is my bread and butter. This is what I've known all of my life. And this skill of trusting your intuition, connecting to your higher self, is going to be one of the biggest things that we need moving forward. You know, and our higher self, like, it's a real thing, right? It's not just a spiritual concept. Like, it's really the key to our sovereignty. It's like the reminder that you're never lost, right? You're never powerless. You're never small, when, you know, you've been conditioned to believe that. And you've had experiences that have also reinforced that. And I'm not taking that away. I'm not taking away the trauma that you've experienced at all, because it's real and it's there. But connecting to your intuition, and obviously then, you know, moving through the spiritual and healing journey, this is where you can bring all of that back. You know, because you, as I said, you are a multidimensional being. You have an internal compass built into your very soul. You know, and when enough of us actually start living from that place, literally tuned into our higher selves, the whole planet shifts. Because do you really think the people that are fear-mongering and doing all this bad stuff and, you know, creating chaos and creating drama and creating lies across the world, do you think they're connected to their higher self? I mean, they are, but are they listening to it? Absolutely not. And this is where, as a collective, we stop repeating old cycles, you know, the cycles of fear, the cycles of separation, and we really start co-creating a reality that is aligned with, like, our deepest truth, with love and with evolution in mind for all of us, not just some. Sorry, I got a bit passionate there, didn't I? So, you know, the next time that you're feeling lost or stuck or just unsure about where you are, what's happening, what your next move is, what your purpose, why are you even here, then I just want you to remember, like, you're not just a wave in the ocean. You are the whole fucking ocean. You know, you're not just an actor in the role. You, at the heart of it, you are the soul who wrote the frigging script. And your higher self is there guiding you back to that every single time. So, if this episode resonated with you, then, you know, share it with someone who really needs to, like, remember who the fuck they are. And if you're ready to go deeper into this work, stay tuned. I've got something really special coming up that's going to help you strengthen your connection to your higher self in, you know, really powerful, practical ways. I've actually got an upcoming workshop as well that is happening on the 9th of September. That's Australian time, so if you're in the US, it'll be happening on the 8th. And it is about healing the soul wounds that are blocking your gifts. It's a free healing and a free workshop. Do not miss it. All the details are below. I'm very excited to have you there. And also on that very day, on that very healing masterclass and workshop, I'm going to be launching the opening the doors of the Rebel Soul Circle membership. And this is really, I've been called to create a community, to create more people that I can share my work with. So the things that I do with my private high-end clients, I will be sharing in this membership with a community. And I'm here to build a community of spiritual seekers, of healers, of intuitives, of empaths, of light workers that are here to shift not only their own lives, but the consciousness of the planet in whatever way that looks like for you. And you're here to walk such a unique path. So if that sounds like you, then do not miss this. This is a place to be. And anyone that signs up for the free workshop and the healing is going to get founder member pricing. It's a monthly subscription. You can cancel anytime. It's jam-packed with so many amazing things. I've got some amazing workshops and masterclasses already set up, as well as a whole meditation and journeys vault. And then we have monthly live workshops and powerful healings every month, plus a community on Telegram to share, to understand each other's journey, to get support. Like it's going to be the place to be. So do not miss it. All the details are below in the show notes. And I'm sending you so much love. And go connect with your higher self. Just sit in silence and just ask your higher self right now, what is it? What is it that I need to know? So I'm sending you so much love. Until next time, take care.